Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Ben, do you want to go first?
Anna, can I just ask you first of all your thoughts on the performance and result today?
No, I don't think you have to ask me about the results because that speaks for itself. That's an unbelievable disappointment. Losing is already a disappointment, losing with 4-0 and in the quarterfinal of an FA Cup against a team which Liverpool played so many times great games against or fights against, and then losing 4-0 is of course a big disappointment. The 20 minutes where we conceded the 4 goals were not of our standard.
How do you turn this group then into one that can go and beat PSG? Champions League obviously is your final remaining chance for silverware this season.
Yeah, that's for silverware, but it's also very crucial that we qualify for Champions League, of course, for next season. Yeah, of course, there are only 3 or 4 days to go, so there are a few things you can do, but and one of the things we need to do if we play against Paris Saint-Germain or against Man City, teams of this level, you need to defend better than we did in the 20 minutes we did when we conceded the 4 goals. I think no one will probably remember it, but the first 35 minutes, there was a lot to like from my team. And it would be nice if we then can score a goal once in a while as well from the chances we create. And again, we faced a team that was outperforming their XG by a mile, and that's what happens constantly. And we every time are under that. So, but if you want to have a chance of beating Paris Saint-Germain, you have to do both parts better. You have to, if you generate chance, you have to score, and you cannot be so easily beaten with the 4 goals. Then 3, because the penalty was with the 3 other goals, so we conceded.
Understandably, we've spent the last week talking about Mo Salah, how great a player he is, but do you need more from Salah and Van Dijk and the other senior players to help you out of this?
Nah, I wouldn't like to point out to individuals after a loss like this or after a disappointing season that we're having. So I think it's about the team, and Mo had a few good chances, which is always important because you want players like him to get chances, and I think that's what in general we did this season, getting him or other players in good positions. Unfortunately, if you look at not only on today but the whole season, the amount of goals we scored is far too low for the amount of chances we created, but definitely for the Liverpool standard.
Hi Anna, Dom gave an interview to TV and he said that the fighting spirit wasn't there, and it did feel like maybe there was a little bit of, like, as you say, it was 4 goals in 20 minutes. How much of a worry is that almost it felt like heads dropped a little bit when that first goal goes in?
Yeah, I should ask him what he means and what he means with and what period of time, if he felt that was the whole game. I did not feel this until the moment they scored the 1-0, and I think after they scored the 1-0 we were still in the game, but then we had a throw-in. Twice we conceded a throw when we had a throw-in. And they go so fast, yeah, in those moments you have to defend sharper. The second goal was a similar one we conceded earlier on this season over here, and the second time that we conceded just before half-time playing Man City. And I missed the fighting spirit definitely in the first 10 minutes after half-time. And then afterwards it was just a game where both teams accepted it was 4-0. But in that 10-15 minutes of time, I missed fighting spirit, but just the willingness to win your duel, to be there first, to make it difficult for either a pass or a cross or a finish. Yeah, that is something what we definitely have to do better on Wednesday.
Yeah, there are some videos on social media of the fans leaving early, maybe seeming a little bit frustrated. What would your message to them be now ahead of, as you say, a big game in midweek?
We don't want them to leave early. We have to perform better, and that's the first thing. And we have to show now that we react after a loss like this and after so many disappointments we already had this season. The good thing is the fans have always been supportive, even today. During large spells of the first half, they were very loud. Before the game, they were very loud. So it's up to us not only to react for them, but also to ourselves. And that's what we need to do Wednesday when we again face a very good team, where we again need to play as we did in the first 35 minutes. But in moments of defending, we need to be much more ruthless than we've been today.
Hi, Arne, you've you've mentioned it yourself, actually, a couple of things I was going to say about the 2 throw-ins and not blocking crosses and also kind of not tracking runners and things like that. I mean, they are the basics of football, the very basics of football, whether you're playing at this level, whether you're playing on a park. It's the very basic of football. So as a coach, when you ask yourself tonight why your players aren't doing the basics, what's your answer?
Yeah, that I don't agree with what you are saying, but in moments you're completely right. So if you tell to me from the 15 runs Man City is making 15 times my players don't run, I disagree with you. But if you simply look at the goals, there I see runs that are not being followed, I see crosses that are not being blocked, I see duels in front of goal that are not won, then you are completely right. But that's not the story of the whole game, but every single time we forget to block a cross, we forget to defend in front of goal, we forget to follow a runner, every single time it's a goal.
It's not the pattern of the game,
No.
I'm not saying, but it was the pattern of the crucial part of the game.
And
when you go 1-0
completely
down,
agree.
you know that's then the crucial part of the game, and,
Yeah.
and that is when they don't do the things that they've got to do. So why is that?
Again, in the moments, I don't think they had a chance after the 1-0 till they scored the 2-0. But yeah, I completely agree with you. If you look at the way we concede a goal, I see the same pattern, but that's not a pattern over 90 minutes. But that's a pattern in how we concede a goal, and then you sometimes miss indeed the lack of need to understand that if you're 1-0 down just before half time, you have to do everything right to go with 1-0 down to half time. And sometimes it's about maybe trying to score the 1-1, but in other moments making sure you don't concede. And like I said, in those 20 minutes, the way we defended when we conceded the 4 goals is absolutely not good enough. And then I see exactly the same things as you.
Concentration, effort, which...
It's a bit of everything. It's effort comes first, I think. Of course, if you look at how they outplay that in the timing, the moment of Haaland comes in, but I think we have to try to make it more difficult for them than we were doing, because they're already good players. And if you don't make it difficult to good players, it's immediately a goal, and that's what we saw 4 times. And Wednesday we face again very good players, so we have to make it more difficult to them in those moments when we have to defend than we did today.
Arne, related really, do you think the fact that you have that 20-minute period where the game goes, is that do heads drop after the first goal? Is it an inability to kind of cope with a setback? Is it tactical? Is it panic? What is it you think that causes that kind of the difference?
Could be a bit of everything, of course. But like I said, it wasn't as if it was chance after chance after chance. So when it's chance after chance after chance you concede, you start to feel like maybe we should change our game plan or our tactics. But if it's moments, which it were, because I don't think they had many more chances than the goals they scored, then it's about understanding the importance of a moment and understanding that you need to be ruthless in those moments. Even if things go against you or you're mentally maybe a bit, you find it a bit hard, that again you're 1-0 down after 35 minutes where you felt you were at least equal to the other team. And this has happened many times to us. So yes, mental could be a part of that, but it's never an excuse, because if you play in this shirt, if you play for this club, then being 1-0 down or 2-0 down is never an excuse not to put that effort in that specific moment in, because then it's almost impossible to get a result if you face teams of this quality. If you let your runner go, or you don't block a shot, or you don't block a cross against players of different level, you can maybe get away with it, but not at this level.
Johnny, last one.
Arne, Liverpool have lost 15 games this season. That's the most since 2015. When you've had a lot of defeats, what do you do as a manager? Do you change the message when you're looking to get intensity back or fighting spirit back? Is there a change in what you do, or is it reinforcing messages, or what?
Nah. I think throughout the season, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you constantly adjust to what you think is necessary to win the next game. So if you've won 3, you're also wondering by yourself, what should I do next to make sure they're ready for the next one? And this is also what the current situation is. So yeah, it's the reaction is not always the same after the 15 losses we've had, and you try to react in a way or do the things that I think we as a staff think is necessary to either challenge them or either get them back on track again for Wednesday evening.